All right, let's get this going. Hmm. Oh, it's reversed. Hey, everybody, Vaughn here. Just sitting at my desk working on some stuff. But I was thinking about some stuff to do on organmadeeasy.com, and I came across a few thoughts in my head that I thought I should share. This past week, I experienced a lot of stuff with some young musicians where I live. I live in Canton, Massachusetts, but I play in Boston all the time. And I saw these cats make some grave mistakes, that that basically prompted me to put this up because there are some mistakes you have to avoid being a musician, especially a church musician. Number one, um, you know, and I made a lot of these too, so that's why my heart goes out to them because I know the damage it can do to you if you're not careful. Number one, getting caught up on being a church celebrity or a celebrity in general in your local, letting it get to your head, letting the whole celebrity church celeb thing get to your head. Yeah, you're killing on your instrument. It's fantastic, but getting caught up on that kind of stuff kind of makes you get arrogant. Number one, number two, it just stifles you because you think you've arrived already and you stop working. You stop working. When you get caught up being a church celeb or a musician celeb in your local area, you get caught up on that. You're not in the shed, you're not grinding, you're not doing what you gotta do. I'm still young, but when I was younger, I made a brutal mistake, and thank God I got checked. Because my head was getting too big. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be a church celeb, getting caught up on all the hype I was getting with people here, there, and everywhere. It's not about it. Number two, demanding more than you're worth. I see cats do this a lot. They're limited, but because they're trying to take advantage of a situation, um, they try to milk the situation. They try to milk the situation unfairly, unjustly. Asking for a lot of money to play organ, for instance, at a church or something, and you can only, play in a few keys, one or two. You can only, you don't know your hymns or anything like that. You don't sing, you don't teach the choir, you don't do anything like that. And, you start trying to drive a sharp bargain. That's not cool. I mean, it screws a lot of people straight up. And it also makes your respect go down too with the peers around you because they know, that dude's always going to try to milk you, and you're not gonna really have a reputation of being the guy that can be capable or that is capable. You're just coming off as someone who's a cheat, basically. All right, number three, not having a standard. And this comes more in and musicians in general, but especially church musicians. Um, when you're in a position as music minister, as I am, and many others are, people are going to test you, and you have to be a leader. Um, and one of the first mistakes I made was trying to please everybody. You cannot please everybody when you are a music minister or in any kind of position anywhere in music in general or anything. You got to have a standard. A lot of times in church especially, and I might step on some toes, but I'm just being honest, you know, people will try to exploit you out of their own fare. They'll try to exploit you. They'll try to um, make you not see your own self-worth. They'll try to take advantage of you. You have to have your own standards. You have to know what you're about. You have to be a leader. You have to stand strong in that. And it comes across in your work. It comes across in how you play. It comes across in how you do things. Um, and especially like for me, one of the experiences I had was there was one time I was going into a new situation as a choir director, and right away, the entrenched body or whatever, the entrenched people there tried to come and check me and say, well, this is how we going to do it, and this is how we going to do that. And initially, I caved in because I wasn't strong in myself yet. I wasn't strong in who I was. I didn't have a standard for myself. I didn't know what I wanted for myself. I didn't know what I wanted in that situation. So I got bullied around a little bit, just being honest. But as time went on, that crap wasn't happening no more. And basically one time I had to end up telling them, it was drastic, but I said, yo, cut the crap. Cut the crap. We ain't going through this crap no more. All right, you ain't gonna be bullying me around, etc., etc. This is how I want it done. This is how it's gonna be done. And you gotta be willing to be the bad guy. A lot of times, I find that that's when you're most free. When you're most free in yourself, you feel good about yourself. When you're willing to be the bad guy, man, because at that point you don't care what people think. Your actions aren't going to be based off of someone else's opinion. And I don't know about you, but I know for me, when I make decisions or actions or do things because of what someone else is going to think, I have a little bit, a feeling of, like disrespect for myself because I'm not being me. I want to be me. And I'm sitting up here making decisions for someone else. So that's number 3, not having a standard. You know what I mean? Oh, and another point on that, when it comes to getting your money, being a musician, let me tell you something. There's some cats out there trying to get something for nothing all the damn time. They will try to get something for nothing all that time. They'll try to talk your worth down. They'll try to talk you out of your worth for the sake of their poverty. You know what I'm saying? And especially in church, they'll use the mask of religion on you in a second. They'll try sometimes to say, well, oh, you got to do it for free. You got to do it for the people. When the Bible says you have to pay a worker or his due hire, you have to pay him his wage. So a lot of people try to get something for nothing out of you. Get away from that crap, man. Don't stand for it at all. Stick up for what you need to stick up for, especially if you know your worth. Now, going back to point 2, don't take that and run off and then be like, oh, well, I'm going to charge $1,000 a Sunday. Man, if you can't play all your hymns, if you can't play in all your keys, if you can't at least direct some kind of choir, or at least be blazing on your instrument or whatever you do in some way, yeah, man, you got no right. You have no right charging that much. You might get away with it with somebody who may not know, but that joint's going to catch up to you. Man, it's going to catch up to you quick. Number 4, and this is real, crapping where you eat. Crapping where you eat. I know people usually say the other word, the S word, but I don't know who might be watching, but crapping where you eat, especially like I said, gospel musicians in church. Yo, I'm just gonna be real. I know people know what the Bible say. People say, oh, don't fornicate, don't do this. Listen, musicians, y'all are getting involved with other people. Y'all having sex, y'all are doing that kind of thing. Period. I'm not gonna BS and say that's not happening. That's happening. Now, I'm not a moral authority. I'm not here to do that. What I'm going to tell you, or those of you out there, is if you're going to do it, don't do it where your check come from, bro. Don't do it where your check come from. Don't do it. It'll bite you in your behind each and every time. Do not crap where you eat. You don't need the drama. It undermines your work. Do not crap where you eat, man. If you want to have a girl or a boyfriend or whatever you want to do, man, keep it outside of where you get your money. Keep them 2 joints separate until you build it up or whatever. The relationship is built to a point where it can withstand being in the same vicinity of money and romance. But money and romance, where you're working, don't start it out, man. Don't start it out there. That joint will screw you every single time. Trust and believe. I've seen some terrible, terrible horror stories in regards to that. People, like I said, musicians killing the church. Like I said, it goes back to getting caught up on being a church celebrity. You playing well, everybody loves what you do. The girls, the boys, they come up to you, oh my God, you're so awesome. And your ego gets stroked. And you got caught. As soon as your ego gets stroked and it gets to your head, you're done. Because you're not going to have the self-control to learn how to separate the 2. You never mix your business with pleasure. At least not in the jump. Not from the jump. You definitely don't do that. That's a big mistake. And I've seen a lot of musicians get burned. These chicks, they start off all nice. And I'm talking about male musicians now exclusively. If women come up to them in the church, and they, like I said, the ego gets big. They like the attention. They like all that kind of stuff. And then Sooner or later, they start messing with the girl on the side. They start messing with her sexually. Just being honest. That's just how it goes. Everybody know what the Bible say. Everybody do different. I'm not here to BS anybody. But man, and then these things start getting crazy, and then some way, somewhere down the line, you and this woman don't see on the same page, and then drama blows up. She start spreading rumors about you in the church, and you know, a baby might come out of it, and then people who thought you was doing all the right stuff see that, oh my God, you're doing the wrong stuff, then your check is jeopardized. Just being honest. There are some people who are in different stages. Some people need the church check. Some people don't need it. The best place is to not need it. The best place is to have a side hustle and to not, you know, get caught up on a church, to do it for the love of it, do it for all that kind of stuff. But that's the best place is to not need it, because when you in a place where you need it, but then you start acting out in a unwise way, you put yourself in trouble. Just being honest. All right. So let's go over these again. Getting caught up being a church celeb, terrible. Demanding more than you're worth when you can't back it up, very terrible. Very, very terrible. Do not make that mistake. It'll shoot your reputation in the behind. 3, not having a standard. You know, you have to have a standard. People will try to take advantage of you and exploit you as a musician in general, as a church musician. Any church musicians out there who know what I'm talking about, say amen in the chat, because I think we've all been through that in some way, form, or fashion. If not, God bless you. All right? But, you know, when you don't have a standard, people will try to run you, man. They'll try to do all kinds of stuff to you. You got to stand strong in what you believe and what you do. You got to know that for yourself. You got to know that for yourself. Number 4, crapping where you eat. That's self-explanatory. We just went over that. All right, number 5. Go right. Thank you, Brandon. you know, Brandon. Jesus Christ. Anyway, number 5. Going into new territory or a new situation and trying to change everything and imposing your will. You know, I made this mistake horribly. I thought my way was right. I went into a new situation, didn't have wisdom, went in loud and strong, saying bang, 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 this is how it's going to do, this is how it's going to do. There's a way to do things. You got to be wise, man. And don't go into no new situation that you have no information on. And the dumb part was for me is that I didn't know what the church history was. I didn't know who the cliques were. I didn't know who the power players were. I didn't know who really had the money. I didn't know who was influencing who had the money. I didn't know anything. And I went up in there touting, chin all up like I was, I don't know what kind of metaphor to make, but I thought I was doing it, basically. I thought I was it. And, man, Jesus, that was terrible. Went up in there and I got caught with a brick wall right away. Resistance right away. It was terrible. I mean, it was the most stressful experience I ever had, just because I went in that way. I wasn't even open. I didn't even assess the situation. My advice, assess every single situation you go into first. Stay quiet and agreeable. Stay quiet and agreeable. And just observe. People's egos are going to play out in front of you. People's, proclivities are going to play out in front of you. You just stay quiet and stay reserved. In Proverbs, it talks about, a fool, he speaks a lot. I'm just paraphrasing, but that's the basic essence of it. A fool speaks a lot. A wise man holds his tongue. A fool will talk into situations that he don't know nothing about. And all that kind of foolishness. But a wise man stay back. That's what you got to do. Because going up in there, bull rushing some stuff, first of all, you make yourself a huge target. You make yourself a huge target when you go into some place being loud, being proud, being arrogant, thinking your shit don't stink. Yeah, I had to say it. Thinking your shit don't stink. And all that kind of stuff. You just go into... It's just a bad place to be. You don't want to do that, all right? So whenever you go into a new situation, a new opportunity comes to you, play it smooth for a little bit. Play it smooth, man. Don't go in there, guns blazing. Just play it smooth and lay back just a little bit, all right? So this thing's getting a little long, but I had to I had to do this because I witnessed some musicians do some stuff this week, man, that I felt so bad for them because they didn't know. They didn't know what was going to come of it, man. And they were just operating this way. They was arrogant. Point number one. Number two, they were trying to milk that cow for all the money they could get. Nothing wrong with that if you can back it up. But they were going up in there, man, because when we playing A flat and D flat, you know, and we could play a shout, didn't even know great is our faithfulness, they know no hymns, nothing, you know. And they was just out here trying to milk people for all the money they could get. Number three, you know, in another situation, you know, I saw someone who didn't have a standard, you know, someone who didn't have a standard, and they got abused. Basically, they got, you know, taken advantage of, and it really warped their perception of what a church should be. I know people have had that experience. If you've had that experience, say yeah in the comment box. And I appreciate you guys watching and share this if you can, because musicians need to know these things. They really need to know this stuff because a lot of young guys who are coming up, their careers can take off so much sooner if they had wisdom or knew what to avoid. You know what I'm saying? I know mine could have, and mine's not taking off in that way, so to speak. You know, being honest, I chose a different path. I like entrepreneurship. I like business. Music is fun for me, but in the end, I like entrepreneurship and business. You know, but yeah, their careers could explode so much faster if they just work at it, but also have the right attitude, man. We always have these conversations in private, but I don't think anyone ever brings these conversations out and talk on a public forum about, you know, etiquette, how to be an agreeable person as a musician. I don't think no one really talks about it on the broad stage. I want to do it because I see that each cats need help. You know, when I went to Berklee College of Music, that stuff was prevalent. I mean, if you want to talk about egos, that's a place everybody got an ego. Heck, I had an ego, and I wasn't even justified to have an ego, but I had one. You know, everybody's trying to jock for position. Everybody's trying to appear more than they really are because they don't want to put the work in. The cats who's really putting the work in, they were quiet, always doing what they had to do. And then they came out blazing. There was no, everybody knew, yo, you cats blazing. You know what I'm saying? But I always found, man, that the cats who really weren't doing the work, they really weren't doing the work, had to re-up or compensate in some way with some kind of false bravado, and all this kind of crap. So, you know, I'm going to end it here, guys. Oh, by the way, I'm working on some new stuff with OrganMadeEasy.com. I am in the process of recording some courses. I got a lot of emails from people on the list. And they basically asking a lot of questions. I said, I got to figure out how to give it to them. That's a lot of videos, you know what I'm saying, to put out, and I can't answer everybody's questions. So I'm working on a course that just puts all the information together to help people just master their gospel music stuff. And it's more or less geared to people who don't play God at all. They don't play gospel music at all. They're like, you know, they didn't grow up in the black church or whatever, blah, 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 blah. So it's more geared toward them. So if you know some musicians who like the gospel music style of the chords or the reharms or whatever and want to learn it but don't really know where to go, shoot them my way at OrganMadeEasy.com. Something's going to be dropping soon with that. And the free lessons and content also addresses those situations as well. Okay, that's one. Also follow me on Periscope. I'm going to start Periscoping a lot more. I have a lot of interviews coming up with some top organists, especially at Berklee College of Music. Some of the names I will be putting on are Dennis Montgomery III. YouTube him. You will see why I want to interview this man. He helped me out immensely. He taught me some awesome things. And so check that out and be on the lookout for that. OrganMadeEasy.com. 1, 2, follow me on Periscope for the live interviews and different impromptu, spontaneous lessons and stuff like that. And You know, sign up for the emailers and get the free lessons in your inbox if you so care to. And that's it. That's it, guys. So, yeah, right, Lawrence. Dennis is a freaking master. You are totally right. Share this thing, man. You came in late, man, but we was talking about, 5 mistakes, musicians have to avoid. And then we covered everything from getting caught up on your own press and demanding more than your worth and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to end this. You can watch it afterward, but share as much as you can. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks, Lauren. Yo, I seen you on that cooking show. Yo, listen, if everybody didn't go see the worst chef in America, was it worst chef in America? Lawrence Crawford is on that show. Go check that show out. I don't know what the schedule is, Lawrence, or whatever, but share it, whatever. You gotta check it out because it's hilarious. This guy, man. Yo, he went to Berkeley with me as well, man. Good drummer. He's a good drummer. I wish the best to you, my brother. I'm glad for you. I'm glad everything worked out for you. All right. So, guys, I'm out. Peace. If you came in late, just press play again when I finish it. But it's some really good content in here, and I just want to help these musicians out. Oh, yeah, worst cooks in America. That's it. All right. All right, y'all. Peace. Every Sunday. All right, y'all heard that. Worst cooks in America every Sunday. Lawrence, I'll send you my address so you can send me my check, okay? All right. I'll see you later, man. Thank you all. Peace.